Welcome back to Tavern Legends, and thank you for coming back. I think it's been a while, and it's because I've been working a lot on a lot of new design, features, etc., and building on it. I want to let you know I'm not bug focusing right now. I'm future focusing, trying to lock down all the features. And this game has expanded beyond just the mythical myth and I also changed a lot of the core of what the way the mechanics in my perception, my design, and I hope you like it. And again, in the end, I'm going to also explain things to come, or maybe things I've forgotten to mention, etc. But I hope you like what you see. I'm going to go to the latest saves and show you what are the things that have been worked on since the last update and basically there's a lot of things, some things I probably can't show you because there are some core fundamental logic issues that I fixed, and also there's maybe things I forgot to mention, so you have to forgive me on that. And right now, let me tell you something very important at the core of the game, but let me load first and we'll talk then. So what I want to mention is the game design currently. I'm focusing on. There's going to be many tiers, but right now, before the bug testing begins, I'm focusing on finishing the first two tiers. Now, tier one is complete somewhat, and tier two is somewhat complete also. And because tier 1 is complete, you can pretty much move on to tier 2. Now, tier 1 is no different from tier 2. It's somewhat tutorial moded, meaning to teach you the games and game features and things you could do, etc. Tier 3 and above will be, the encounters won't be more like, hey, come and like chess play and beat me up, you know. It will be more story oriented, and not to say that it isn't right now the encounters. They have stories and dialogues, etc. But as you could see, like be this captain. You could talk to him, and you could obviously decline. I don't want to take it right now. I want to explain you. So that's something very important to note. And unlike in tier one where there's pretty much only consumables, there's no real gear per se. You don't obtain new gear other than the gear you start with. Just like in meh, in tier two you unlock gear. Okay, and you can also win gear, or in encounters, or some patrons will reward you in some circumstances. So let's go to our famous bartender who's always working hard. You'll see now slowly that certain gear and items, unlike before, will have unlocked in tier 2. And so just something for you to note. As you see, this one is 2 gold, heals 2 vitality. This one is heal 4, but costs 4 gold. There's also this new item. I don't believe it was there before. It removes burn shock, basically any elemental damage, because there's elemental tier 2 enemies. And don't forget, also, a lot of these enemies, monsters, which I call them monsters, they have abilities, which makes them very challenging. Okay? And there's been a lot. Look at this one. Remove all your threat, which is pretty much powerful, but at the same time, much needed. With events popping left and right, it makes the game much more difficult if you don't have something to mitigate the threat level. Now, aside from abilities, okay, and there's been a lot of items added. As you could see, now you see there's some items that are not here, they're missing, and I'll show you why. Because I pretty much purchased it. As you can see, I have 0 gold because I went on a shopping spree. Okay, so just to show you some of the items here, like this one, this is just a helm. You can see the icon on the right. It's an accessory. It's considered an accessory. And pretty much getting to the point here, it gives you 1 vitality. It costs you 3 gold. Unlike this one, which is class-based, kind of item or gear, +1 to your shadow skill, which is, unique to the thief class, which is very good, by the way, shadow helm. And then let's try another item here. This one pretty much makes you fight better with against skeletons and skeleton warriors. This item, if your vitality is 4 or less, your next attack deals +1 damage. And there's so many gear here, like even this one, when you're struck and would take damage, you lose 2 gold per damage instead. So you lose your gold before you lose your damage. This item, that's what it does. And it doesn't affect from bosses or leaders. So it's only against, monsters. But don't forget, in tier 3, you might find an item that's much better than this, where it could be like 1 gold per damage instead, and has an effect from leaders and bosses, etc. So just give you perspective here and understanding of what is currently has been done. And you can see the cost right now. If I try to buy it, it'll tell you have no gold to buy it. Okay. Now, moving right along, I want to show you something very well. So you know the inventory right now. There's nothing in the inventory. I want to show you that all the classes, all the characters are pretty much upgraded. I did a whole woman group. And their items are totally leveled up. And you can see, like, if you look at this character right here, if you go to her class page, you'll see that her vitality is now increased because of the items she's pretty much, has equipped. Aside from the potions she brings into battle. So you can see her destiny dice is pretty much 3, etc. So there's a lot of things here pretty much that are pretty much gone in advance. Now, there's something more importantly that has changed. As you can see, because we're in tier 2 and we're also level 3, we're now going to have to complete tier 2 quests to level 4, and we have to do 6. And you might think 6 is not much, but it is actually a lot because tier 2 quests, or encounters I should call them, are very challenging. You could, upgrade the cards, not yet, that I'm working on currently, but you could edit the deck. And I want to show you something. I already edited the deck. Your maximum deck's hand size, well, it could change, is 25. But I removed these 2 cards because look at this. There's the novice cards right here. I know you can't see it that well right now. What am I doing? But I just wanted to show you. I'll show you more in battle how some of them perform. But now there's the novice cards, which is freaking amazing, and they work actually. So where's the other one? Where is the other one? I just pushed it up. Sorry, I'm moving a little bit too quick. Oh, it's right here. What am I doing? Okay, so it's right here. So just to make sure I didn't screw anything up. Okay, no. So, and if you go to another class, so this one is the mage level 3, and now you see the vitality. Certain stats has changed here, and because now look, she's equipped with much more items. She has this one, this one is amazing, +2 vitality, and she's guaranteed at least 1 mystic roll on the destiny dice, and she's immune to all status effects. I bought her these items, well, pretty much making her all mighty and powerful. And then look at this one, +2 damage already. So she's really good. And if we go here 9, and she's accumulated all her XP here. And we go to the editor deck. As we remove these 2 cards, we added these 2 cards. Arcane Reversal and Dark Step. Each one does something, obviously different and freaking amazing. And some cards there's only 1 of it. Some cards there's 2 abilities of it. So let's move on to the knight now. The knight also has the gear here, and obviously everything's upgraded, and their own helmet, like this one, the hard helm, are very important. They can later on be a level 2, when you reach tier 3, or unless in tier 2 there's an encounter that gives you an item as such or better. You know what I mean? It's something important to note that there could be a better level of this version. So the level 2 of this hard helm, and when I say level 2, I don't want to confuse it with upgrading your weapon or armor here, or your secondary hand weapon or shield. Accessories are not upgradable ever, but you might find a better version of it. I hope that's clear and understood. I'm not confusing you. So later on, you can find a better version of the hard helm, but this is pretty good and awesome. And this one is right here is another item that she has equipped tonight. And each time she rolls a natural 10, she pretty much gains gold, and we need gold. And for the barbarian, well, pretty much she's well loaded. Well, she's upgraded here, and plus plus 3 to the vitality, plus 1 to the movement. And this one is also awesome. You know, every time, anytime when she's about to start her turn, if she's less than her maximum, vitality, she rolls one destiny dice. If she rolls a primal, she gains one vitality. Again, later on, there's much better versions of that in tier 3 or maybe in some tier 2 encounter by chance, or a patron rewards you for it for some reason. So this is also, and again, edit deck, and the Barbarian has its own, Novus cards, 2 of them. And you might say, well, why only 2? Like in Myth, you're, I think, rewarded with 5 from what I recollect. But here, there's only 2 when you obtain level 3. At later level, I think at level 4 or, not sorry, not level 4, but level 5 or 6, you pretty much, or level 6, sorry, level 6, you gain the other, possible 2, Novus cards. Again, don't forget these cards are all upgradable, right? So it's very, it's very different from the Myth standard. So even if it has certain correlations, one can argue. So I hope you like it. So that's something very, very important. Look at the stats right now: 13 vitality, and pretty much rolls 4 destiny dice. Sorry, not Destiny Dice. Die 10, 4 die 10. And Destiny Dice is really bad. I gotta get her to somehow higher. Because if she does get it higher, then she becomes like a really wrecking crew. Because if she ever rolls 2 Fury, plus 3 damage, that's ludicrous. Beyond the damage she does right now. And her movement is 3 on like 2. So this is really, really wild. And what other things I could tell you? Like, also very important when you go now to talk, they tell you which quests you could do, new quests, and which ones are complete, etc. Because the quests are now repeatable, it just shows you if you've done the quest, and you cannot do it consecutively, the same quest. So you have to do another quest before you could do that quest. And it shows you which quests you have to deliver back to get rewarded. So if you don't return the quest, you can continue doing other quests, but to claim that it was completed, you have to return to the patron and say, buddy, I did it. So that's something very important that's been added also here to let you know. I think we already know here on the nosebook there's the achievements and rewards, and it kind of lets you know all the quests that you have completed. What else? Again, just to let you know, certain things, a lot of things will probably evolve over time. And what I want to show you now, which is fundamentally wild, and to pretty much finish it, here, I'm going to do tier 2 quest just to show you what are the cards and how they perform. I'm going to do a normal because hard is really hard. And as you could see, the XP and the reward is very different. Like hard gets really much better. And coming about gold and everything else is not as what do you call it? You will have to farm somewhat and repeat certain quests to get gold, this, that, etc. And you have to strategize, and you can't just, it's not hack and slash and easy. You have to strategize. You have to know where to place your characters in every move or turn, or also gear you by, and also the luck chance of initiative where you land, and hopefully the monsters are not there before you. Anyways, let's check out normal instead of rambling and show you what I mean. So we're going to do the quest that appears right here. We just skipped the video. Sorry, clicked too fast. So here are the characters. So we all know the mulligan card, right? So we could check the cards right here. I know it might be tough for you to read right now. I'm able to read it, and pretty much I'm going to use it just to show you that what it does if it's forgotten or some people are new watching this. So this is the cards you got, and you're pretty much stuck with it at this point. And not really that great compared to that one. This is a Novus card, as you can see. Alright, so you can pretty much know right away when you have a novice card right here. And this one says, you can read it, if you move this turn, you gain +1 damage per hex moved, which is crazy. Okay, so and she moves 3. So I'm gonna move here. Now, there's something new that you did not notice. Aside from this ones you already know, there's this. I didn't make the details yet, which is gonna be on the next update, but these are layers. These are layers. Okay, this is something fundamentally very, very, very important to note. Um, I'm not going to do a full battle, but I'm going to show you how it works, because tier 2 battles have 2 battles. So once you finish this battle, you run into another battle. You can see that in the previous video. Okay, unlike the previous video did not have layers. So I'm going to show you how layers work. Okay, and we all know how traps work, and the benefit of, if you're able to disarm it, you get an XP. If you don't, well, anybody around you gets damaged, and each trap does something different. Like this one, burn 5. Well, it's not fun. Okay, so I'm gonna skip, and I'm gonna just say use. Oh, okay, I didn't mean use discard. Okay, so I'm going to. Useless. Okay, I'm gonna say discard. So this pretty much we're sticking with this, and now we're gonna see the monsters, the ratters attack and interrupt. All right, I love the animation. Ah, you missed, buddy. And he says right there, the ratter missed, and I have one more interrupt in my hand. This is good because it means in my next round, I'll be able to get 2 new cards. And okay, let's see where they're going. Again, I'm just going to show you what happens when there's a layer, okay, which is very, very important. Now, this is a normal mode. Normal mode, usually it's not a bug. Well, originally I put 2, and I realized it's very difficult with 2 layers. So I'm gonna just discard this, and no Novus cards. Okay, and I'm gonna just skip. So look what happens. Layer activated. That's the first thing. Layers are always activating the last in the end of the round. So Primal Mystic, you saw pretty much nothing will happen other than a new leader spawned. You see it spawned a leader. You'll see it in the end, and that's it. I think it's a leader spawned. Yeah. Okay. So it just spawned a leader that's pretty much right here, by the way, which wasn't there before, if you remember. So this is freaky. Ugly and freaky. Okay, ratty instead of a ratter. Okay, and you can see it does ranged attack and has its own abilities. Okay. What else? This, and okay. So you saw the way it works. So I'm just gonna show you what happens when it rolls gloom. So I'm just gonna do a little attack here, and I didn't move. So I'm gonna move right now. And where's this card? So let's see what happens. The Barbarian she's freaky. Wow, 7. Well, I'm gonna do this, just to do this. I'm just gonna show you something quickly. I'm gonna skip everybody's turn after this one. Yeah, she's a badass. Okay, I'm gonna end turn. This is not gonna be fun. Why with range? That's obviously later on bug. The logic I'll fix. There's no reason for it to come here, but you could see it makes sense. Roll 2 dices. Well, there's only 1 damage. Um, but takes 1 damage. Oh, skip, I said. I just want to show you what happens. Okay, this is going to be a while. I'm just skipping instead of fighting because I want to show you what the layer can do when it rolls certain things. Right now, it failed in its rolls, but what happens when it succeeds in its rolls is going to be brutal. The gods of RNG can be cruel sometimes. So let me show you what I mean. Okay, this one obviously hit for 1 damage. Oh, I don't care. Let's skip. Change the view. Oh, okay, are we done? Okay, now we're gonna see the layers. Let's see the royal layers roll again. I zoomed out a bit and okay, gloom. Watch this. Bam. It became 11. Layer activated. Another one. Okay, we dodged a bullet there. Okay, but anyways, this can get really brutal and really crazy really quick. Okay, so now we have 11, and if we don't take care of those layers, again, things will evolve and change for balance, etc. But I'm just showing you what layers can do. That's what to take from this. And things can become really dangerous really quick because layers activate at the end of the round and it rolls a destiny dice. Now, depending how many layers there are is how many destiny dice each layer rolls. So if in this case there's two, each layer will roll two destiny dice, and it only needs one gloom on its roll to successfully spawn all those ugly looking rats. Aside from that, moving forward, let's leave. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna forfeit this. Go back to the tavern. So what to explain here? Yeah, we still have to do this quest, right? Um, so what I wanted to say is the things to come. As you can see, there's been a lot of things being worked on, and heavy things. Uh, and right now you can level up pretty much to level 7. I'm not showing that. But so the other features right now in those leveling up really are not completed except for level 4. Level 4 introduces, which does function, and maybe in the next video I'll be able to show you properly, but there is something called sorcery cards. They become part of your deck, but they don't affect the total amount of deck cards you're allowed, which is 25. So a sorcery card is like a bonus card, and it doesn't affect it, the count. But the sorcery cards work like boon and banes in like D&D world or whatever. So you gain those cards, you get to choose, you know, which ones to take and to keep. There's a selection, you can't have all of them, and each character class can have the same boon if they all wanted, you know what I mean, etc. So again, there's a selection to select from. That's already implemented, but I can't show you right now. Because of certain things I need to change in Tier 2 battle system to make it more effective. Aside from that, that's it. I hope you like what I've shown you so far. Things are advancing, as you can see, and I hope you like it. And I'm looking forward in the next few months to be able to share it with all. And have a good night, have a good weekend, and if hope to see your comments. Thank you for watching Tavern Legends.